¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. It is Monday again. Oh boy, do we have some interesting developments, if you want to put it lightly. Echo Rest the Dragon, how's it going? So we have a couple of things to go through.
Did you know?
Whoa. First of all, welcome everybody. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And I think the first order of business is some good memes. All right, I think I got everything ready here. Pretty good. My personal support worker came today and we cleaned for 5 hours and it feels amazing. Nice. Nice. Nice indeed. How's it going, Elio? Welcome, everybody. All right. Let's do some good memes.
Came here to help people, not get the beat out of me.
A member of the far-right organization, the Proud Boys, got beat up outside a Drag Time Story Hour event in New York City on Sunday afternoon. So I'm going to show you a couple of videos. I'm going to get to details here. This is just a great story of F around and find out. So the Washington Press has my favorite headline of all the coverage I saw of this. Dragged. Proud Boys get beat up at New York City Drag Queen Story Hour. So before I even show you, more about this event and the details here, this is an image from the event. The very scary Drag Time Story Hour. Here is New York Attorney General Letitia James, who helped to host the event, saying, "Drag Story Hour is a fun opportunity to get our kids excited about reading. Thank you to all the families who came out today for our incredible readathon."
Good memes.
This is the crazy, horrible, dangerous stuff happening at Drag Time Story Hour. Somebody dressed up reading a book. You're going to see the commotion outside. Just like the juxtaposition of what is happening within this event versus what is happening outside the event is just absolutely wild. It's just a person reading a book. So more details here. Anti-drag queen bigots. The Proud Boys got a dose of their own medicine while protesting at a family-friendly show in New York City this weekend. New York Attorney General Letitia James had organized a drag queen story hour at a Manhattan LGBTQ center this past weekend to show her office's solidarity with the marginalized group. Pearls were clutched and panties were bunched as right-wing chaos agents converged on the event, which typically wouldn't attract much controversy in cosmopolitan New York City. The Proud Boys, however, got more than they bargained for while trying to intimidate the people attending the event. All right, so I got a couple of videos. Credit here to Scooter Caster New York from freedomnews.tv. So let's watch a bit of this. I may not play the whole thing because there's not a whole lot here to discuss, but let me show you. So this guy in the gold mask, you're going to see, is the one person that got arrested. We'll get some more details on that as to why. But they're arrested, taken away. Not much else really happening here. There's Proud Boys, a few of them standing outside the event. Just a bunch of clowns. Like, again, this is what's happening inside. Kids being read a book. Now, the man who was arrested with the gold mask was described by police via New York Post as an anti-drag protester who was arrested for assaulting a pro-drag agitator. An officer from the
Right. F around and find out.
NYPD's Deputy Commissioner of Public Information's office tells Rolling Stone the man who was arrested is 53-year-old Robert Porco. Porco has been charged with 1 count of assault. The officer could not confirm whether the suspect was for or against the event. He apparently was against the event, slapping things out of people's hands and just doing, random agitating. The officer said no other arrests were made in connection to the event. Now, before I show you the guy that got beat up, by his own claim, I'm not just saying this, he says he got beat up. It's worth pointing out that Canada recently, in the past couple of years, has designated the Proud Boys as a terrorist entity, making it tougher for them to organize, to have financial support. So Canada...
Over 500,000 of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, they are domestic terrorists.
Canada has its problems, of course, but it recognizes the obvious, that the Proud Boys are incredibly far-right agitators, bring nothing at all positive to society. So they deem them a terrorist entity, and others should take note.
Well, I mean, it's not just that they don't bring... Wait a minute. It's not just that they don't bring a positive outcome to society. It's that, like, they're literal domestic terrorists. That has a specific definition. So there's definitely a reason why they would be designated as a terrorist entity, because they are. It's not just because they're mean or whatever,
Now, let's get to this clip. So I'm going to give you more context after, but let's just start with this guy again. This is from freedomnews.tv, and listen to what he says here at the beginning.
I'm an EMT. I came here to help people, not get the shit beat out of me.
Hold on.
Okay,
I got something for that. Hold. Where is it? Ah, here we are. Yeah. Every accusation is a confession on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I mean, they're doing everything possible to CYA to cover their ass. But I think that the people who if there are events that happen tomorrow, the people that will show up, they already have the message received from the dear leader. Kevin McCarthy isn't going to change that. The dear leader said to show up on multiple occasions, and they probably will if something happens. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow.
Gotta show you a bit more, but he claims, I came here to help people, not get the shit beat out of me. And he's very angry. So I'll likely have to mute a lot of these swear words because of YouTube, but people are saying, get the F out of here. There's more comments I'll show you in a second here. But they're basically chased away from the event. So this goes on for a couple minutes, and they're just
Can you tell us what happened?
love it. New Yorkers chasing this loser away. Just as an aside, I love New York City. If there was a city that I could live in the U.S., and I love the West Coast, so it's a competition. You know, I like Seattle. I like L.A. not as much, but New York City, been there a couple times. Amazing people, atmosphere, the culture. I love it. So, you know, one day, if it's possible, maybe.
Hard to
I could stay there
disagree.
for a
There's
few
too many
months,
people.
pretend I live there. But let's go to more details from this here. So as the event went on, a member of the Proud Boys, who you just saw there, allegedly fought with defenders. One of the people who was with the Proud Boys group says he got beat up. I came here to help, not get the shit beat out of me, said the person who, with visible blood on his face, ushered away from Drag Queen Story Hour event in New York City as protesters chanted, "Go back to Long Island," and F the Proud Boys. So this is a great point here from Vinay Krishnan. It's truly impossible to be committed to fighting fascism and to not be working to protect trans lives, particularly black trans lives. It would require a fundamental misunderstanding of fascism and how it spreads. So glad seeing New Yorkers keep each other safe. Now, the comments about trans people here doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the drag event. Those two are not directly connected. But point being here, if you're not willing to stand up for those who are the most marginalized in society, then you're not really fighting for true freedom. You're not really fighting on behalf of people. So it's really good to see just the amount of people outside here counter protesting the protesters right there. A lot more people on the good side than the Proud Boys, who just appeared to be, you know, a handful of them there.
Guy.
This comment
I
here
want to talk to you a little bit about a company called Stock Unlocked. And what they do is they help you learn how to invest in the stock market and stocks and crypto to earn money.
Nah. Where's the original video of this?
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell
Pay
me
attention, class.
how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
Cool.
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there.
Oh, man. I love this. Hey, Cosmic Seekin, how's it going? If Trump loves this country, he doesn't give a shit. So yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Hey, the Simulacra, how's it going? I'm not sure if fuck around and find out is linear. True. That's the link to the YouTube short. Anywho. A bit shocked at what I've come into. What? Learning the mathematical concept of fucking around and finding out. Yeah. It's a good meme, alright? It's a good meme, and as the Proud Boy who decided to be an asshole found out, well, this guy? No, he's teaching us the way, Cosmic Seeking. He's teaching us the way. Okay, don't be like this guy. Where is he? Don't be like this clown, this Proud Boy clown, right here. Okay.
He's very angry.
Don't be this guy. Okay? Because then,
So I'll likely have to mute a lot of these
Yeah, anyways.
fascism and to not and F with visible blood on his face ushered away from drag queen story hour.
yes, because then you're gonna have to listen to this
So
guy.
first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out.
There you go. The Proud Boys are bullies and bullies are cowards. Yep, 100%. 100%. All these like fascist fucking bullies, absolutely, when confronted, when push comes to shove, their cowardice does come out. Because they're not expected to be challenged. They're not expected to be challenged. That's the difference. They think, oh, we were just going there to help or whatever. I didn't expect to get beat up. I didn't expect to get beat up.
Event in New York City as protesters chanted "Go back
Sorry,
to Long Island."
I came here to help, not to get the shit beat out of me.
And F the Proud Boys. So this is a great point here from Vinay Krishnan. It's truly impossible to be committed to fighting fascism and to not be working to protect trans lives, particularly black trans lives. It would require a fundamental misunderstanding of fascism and how it spreads. So glad seeing New Yorkers keep each other safe. Now, the issue, the comments about trans people here doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the drag event. Those two are not directly connected. But point being here, if you're not willing to stand up for those who are the most marginalized in society, then you're not really fighting for true freedom. You're not really fighting on behalf of people. So it's really good to see just the amount of people outside here counter protesting the protesters right there. A lot more people
All right,
on the
today
good
we're going to
side
talk about
than the Proud Boys, who just appeared to be, a handful of them there. This comment here from Letitia James. So, quote, the recent rise in anti-LGBTQ protests, rhetoric, and policies has left New Yorkers, myself included, devastated and disappointed. But I know better than anyone that when the choice is between love and hate, between joy and venom, New Yorkers will always choose love and New Yorkers will always choose joy, said Attorney General James. I am proud to have been joined by my colleagues in advocacy and government today in celebration of the love, joy, and family fun that Drag Story Hour brings to our communities. Hate has no home in New York, and I will always fight to ensure our LGBTQ plus siblings' rights are upheld and defended. All right, last thing. If you want to see the full video of what was going on there, this is about 7 minutes long. I'll link to it below the video, again, from Freedom News TV. Really good to see people stand up and fight for kids being able to hear a story. Somehow has become a contentious debate over whether or not kids should be allowed to hear someone tell a story who's dressed up. Pretty ridiculous.
True. All right, folks. Switching gears. There we go. All right, switching gears here. Wyoming's governor has signed a law that prohibits abortion pills. Here we are. Maple Leaf Dragon with a tier 1 sub for 14 months. Jesus, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Greetings to all, showing a difficult support. Ha! I see what you did there. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon signed a bill Friday night prohibiting abortion pills in the state, and also allowed a separate measure restricting abortion to become law without his signature. The pills are already banned in 13 states with blanket bans on all forms of abortion, and 15 states have already limited access to abortion pills. It's not going to stop there. I keep mentioning this, but I'll mention it again. A political movement, ideology, party, whatever it is, that doesn't believe in bodily autonomy is dangerous. And they're not going to stop here. The Republican governor's decision comes after weeks. The Republican governor's decision comes after the issue of access to abortion pills took center stage this week in a Texas court. A federal judge there raised a question about a Christian group's effort to overturn the decades-old U.S. approval of a leading abortion drug, mifepristone, which is the case that we've been following, that I talked about last week. Medication abortions become the preferred method for ending pregnancy in the U.S. even before Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the ruling that protected the right to abortion for nearly 5 decades. A two-pill combination of mifepristone and another drug is the most common form of abortion in the U.S. Right, because overwhelmingly, abortions are done very early on, and they're done with a completely non-invasive system of just taking 2 pills. That's it. Wyoming's ban on abortion pills would take effect in July, pending any legal action that could potentially delay that. Sorry. The implementation date of the sweeping legislation banning all abortions that Gordon allowed to go into law is not specified in the bill. With an earlier ban tied up in court, abortion currently remains legal in the state up to viability or when the fetus could survive outside the womb. Right, which, again, it's such a non issue. It's such a non-issue to be debating whether or not abortions should be done up to the point of viability. Of course not. Like, the people who have abortions at that late, in that late term of pregnancy, those people, generally speaking, wanted the child and either have no other choice, have found themselves in a life or death situation because of some medical complication, and this is why they're doing it. I mean, there are scenarios where that can be the case. And guess what will be the new drug running in the USA? I don't know. In a statement, Gordon expressed concern that the latter law, dubbed the Life is a Human Right Act, nice meme, would result in a lawsuit that would delay any resolution to the constitutionality of the abortion ban in Wyoming. He noted that earlier in the day, plaintiffs in an ongoing lawsuit filed the challenge to the new law in the event that he did not issue a veto. I believe this question needs to be decided as soon as possible so that the issue of abortion in Wyoming can finally be resolved, and it's best done with the vote of the people. In a statement, Wyoming ACLU Advocacy Director Antonio Serrano criticized Gordon's decision to sign the ban on abortion pills, which is already prohibited in a number of states and that have total bans on all types of abortion. A person's health not politics, should guide important medical decisions, including the decision to have an abortion. Right, again, the government's only business in this scenario, the government's only role, purpose, business in this scenario is to ensure the right that people have to bodily autonomy and self-determination. That's it. That is the only role that the government needs to play here. That's literally it. Not to enforce or impose, I should say, their religious beliefs on everybody else. Nothing like that. It's just to protect that ability for people to have bodily autonomy. That's it. Of the 15 states that have limited access to the pills, 6 require an in-person physician visit. Those laws could withstand court challenges, as states have long had authority over how physicians, pharmacists, and other providers practice medicine. States also set the rule for telemedicine consultations and used to prescribe medication. Generally, that means health providers in states with restriction on abortion pills could face penalties, such as fines or license suspension, for trying to send pills through the mail. Women have already been traveling across state lines to places where abortion pill access is easier, and that trend is expected to increase. Right, and like, that's really sad. That's really sad because you're forcing all these people to literally go across different states, and that's incredibly expensive just to get basic healthcare. That's it, just to get 2 pills to end a pregnancy. If you're forcing your constituents to travel across states just to get like basic healthcare, I'm sorry, but that is not a free state. That is not freedom by any means. Yeah, abortion tourism, essentially. I predict a drug-running cartel of abortion pills? No. No, the cartel isn't going to be running abortion pills. Let women control their bodies. It's really that simple. Hey, Spread It Forward, how's it going? It's really that simple. The only job or the only role that the government has here is just to protect that right. That's it. That's it. Not to impose your garbage religion on everybody else. Since the reversal of Roe v. Wade last June, abortion restrictions have been up to the states, and the landscape has shifted quickly. 13 states are now enforcing bans on abortion at any point in pregnancy, and one more, Georgia, bans it once cardiac activity can be detected about the 6 weeks, whatever, heartbeat bullshit bill. That's nonsense. Courts have put on hold enforcement of abortion bans or deep restrictions in Arizona, Indiana, Montana, Ohio, South Carolina, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho. Courts have forced the state to allow abortions during medical emergencies. Jesus Christ. Imagine that that's the point we're in, where courts have had to force the state to say, you know what, during medical emergencies, you kind of have to do this. Okay? The implication is that Idaho wanted to make it so that under no circumstances, fuck it, die. If you die, you die. So be it. If you're permanently, if your body gets effed up permanently, Idaho says, don't care. I predict dying to make DIY abortion cocktails. Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna make you're just gonna set the scene for unsafe abortions. Yes, that's definitely going to increase, especially since like it's not cheap. Okay, it's not cheap to just pack up and go to another state. Okay, how are you going to get there? Is it going to be by plane? That's expensive. Can you take time off work? And they know all this shit. Cruelty is the point here. Can they just dispense with the BS and rename these states the anarchist, corrupted Bibles? The Bible Belt. And just call them the Bible Belt. That will be their official state name. The United States of Bible. The United States of Christian bullshit. Yeah, just call them the Handmaid's Tale. Unironically, though. MTG is being mocked on Twitter. Does that help? No. 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 Although mocking somebody like MTG or Marjorie Taylor Greene on Twitter is a moral good, no, it doesn't change anything. Doesn't help. All right. So we'll keep our eyes out on these things. Any updates with that Texas case, we'll also keep an eye out. She mocks herself by opening her Wordle. Biden used his veto against the Republicans. I mean, yeah, but it's whatever. I mean... it's not exactly the most explosive use of veto power. Oh, please note, it's also not always in the mouth. True. Switching gears really quickly, 4 domestic terrorists found guilty of obstruction in their third January 6th trial. Four members of the domestic terrorist organization Oath Keepers were convicted of conspiring to obstruct an official proceeding in connection with the January 6th insurrection on the U.S. Capitol. On Monday, as a judge ordered jurors to continue deliberating the most serious counts against 2 additional defendants. These clowns were found guilty of conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. The jury found that these domestic terrorists, 2 of them, not guilty of conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, but was still debating whether he was guilty of aiding and abetting the obstruction of an official proceeding. This other domestic terrorist was not found guilty of aiding or abetting, but the jury is still deliberating on the conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding charge. Look at that. Look at all these wonderful sightseers. Is that not like the striking when you think of a tourist and when you think of a peaceful, reverent, respectful sightseer going to the Capitol? This is the exact image that conjures up in my mind. People wearing vests. People wearing vests the tactical vests. Yeah, the democracy. Look, these are the democracy tourists. There you go. That's an even better way of putting it. I like that one. I like that one. Let's take a look at these democracy tourists. Because when I think of democracy tourists, I think paramilitary domestic terrorists dressed up in all black with plate carriers. That's usually the image that comes to mind. Anyways. All 6 members of this domestic terrorist group, of this far-right domestic terrorist group, were found guilty of the charge of entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds. But both these domestic terrorists may be ultimately convicted of the charge. This was the 3rd group of the domestic terrorist group Oath Keepers to go on trial for the actions on January 6th, but these defendants did not face the more serious and seldom used charge of sedition that the other 2 groups faced. True, this time Malacca. True, the military are democracy bringers, so it makes sense amateur militias would be True. I didn't think about that. Yeah, makes sense now. Makes perfect sense now. These clowns allegedly entered the Capitol while the other 2 clowns did not. So, to anybody who says that like this wasn't like a pre-programmed thing, to anybody who says that this was spontaneous, absolute clown logic. Because here they were planning an entire like 50 state protest on January 6th. And here is another text for all patriots. Bring extra food, water, and blankets. So, what is this? This is obviously not, this is not a spontaneous thing. This is planned and coordinated. Hey, Mayhem Hippie, how's it going? Is this the part where we can all start yelling, lock him up? These are texts between domestic terrorists. These are texts between domestic terrorists, the Oath Keepers. Big news day tomorrow, possible Trump indictment, and he already called in his troops. That's right, he's already said in multiple occasions to protest. So that's going to be fun. We're definitely going to keep an eye out on that. I'm so ready for this. I mean, like, I'm still living in the area of until I see it, you know what I mean? Until I see it kind of deal. Until I see, like, the official documentation, until I see the fucker in handcuffs, I'm not gonna say anything. And even then, just keep in mind that, like, even then, no consequences or accountability might happen at the end. I'm just saying, like, let's just wait, okay? Anyways. However, we will make a note. that they are preparing security. They are amping up security and police presence and things like that for the announcement. So it might be legit this time. It might be for real. It might be for real this time. So I saw this random thing on TikTok, no clue the validity of it, but it was a post on True Social that sources close to Trump are saying that he was going to hold up in his compound. I mean, he's welcome to try, but he's welcome to try, but that's not how this works. No handcuffs because Secret Service likely won't allow it. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, they were discussing, like, between even the Secret Service, between even the Secret Service and, you know, the police and all this other stuff, have been discussing on how exactly this is gonna go down, like, logistically. Supposedly that's what's being discussed. I don't know how far or what the, you know, procedure is there. But the reality is that they're definitely preparing. Yes, Mayhem Hippie, they're preparing. So this might be legit. And then there's the whole Patriot mode thing. Yeah. I expect things to be wild tomorrow. I expect the full circus to come out. I mean, you know, it doing that, just so people understand, like, doing that is obstructing. Okay? That's obstruction of justice. I'm just saying. You know, there's a difference between you know, there's a difference between protesting and then, like, there's a difference between actively impeding, like, official, you know, police business or whatever. So you will be committing obstruction. I'm just saying. I mean, that's the way I understand it. Hopefully more folks from the drag story time can hand out some more ass kicking. True. Will Trump get Epstein's totally secure jail? Who knows? If Trump loves the country, Trump would do well and say, "I welcome all cases. I'm innocent." But no, he doesn't care about the country. He only cares about himself. He only cares about himself. Jurors began their first full day of deliberation on March 13th. Domestic terrorists testified at the trial that the Oath Keepers were like old men talking trash. Nah. Pressed on that comparison, this domestic terrorist noted that two of them were charged were old as ish. 9 other members of domestic terrorist group, the Oath Keepers, have been tried in relation to the January 6th insurrection, 5 of which were found guilty of a charge of obstruction and official proceeding. 2 of them were also found guilty of sedition. Look, they've even got a nice little graph here, of all the domestic terrorists here. Doesn't help that folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene are out there making very real threats of gutting the government, and the GOP saying it's a political stunt. Yep. Like, it can't be a political stunt if the dude is, like, doing crimes, okay? Like, I don't understand what this, like weak argument is. Like, oh, well, this is just a political stunt. Well, my guy, My brothers and sisters and MBs in Christ, okay? If he did the crimes, then he did the crimes. I don't understand. There should be an investigation, and if there's enough evidence, then there should be an indictment, which there is supposedly. And if that continues, then it keeps going down the process. I don't understand. There's nothing like, this isn't like the Democrats trying to get Trump, okay? This is Trump getting Trump, okay? Is it fair to charge someone with a crime they can't spell? Ignorance of the law is not a defense. They had yet another get out of jail card from the mess Trump has made out of the party, but no, they stuck by. Yeah, because it's a cult, and they know that Trump has the base. They know it. They know that Trump has the base. That's the only reason that they're so like in line with him. And now Georgia might be going for him. It is possible that there may be indictments from Georgia from the very perfect phone calls and whatnot. Who knows? Hopefully other states too. But whatever. That's to remain to be seen. Also, again, like now that you're pointing out the Georgia thing, again, it is wild that the Republican Party conspired. Like, just think about the scope of this. The Republican Party conspired to shoehorn fake electors in several states in an attempt to overturn the election. Like, just think about that. Like, that, if, like, it's just beyond me that isn't, like, the biggest story out of this entire thing, or one of the biggest stories out of this entire thing. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say shrugged off, but I feel like there should be more importance being paid attention to that story. It is inconceivable to me that in 2020 a political party decided to conspire to overturn an election. And if it wasn't for, like, quite literally a handful of the right people in the right place, for, like, the one moment in their lives to do the right fucking thing, and they did, if it wasn't for those people, this could have been a lot different. This could have turned out a lot different. Ron Johnson should have been a much bigger story than the shaman guy. What happened with Ron Johnson? Can you refresh my memory? A Proud Boy Oath Keeper's prison raid to free Trump might be the next episode of Reno 911. I would like to say contact the UN and get them involved, but I'm freaking furious as hell at them right now. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, now I know what you're saying. Ron Johnson was one of the senators with the list of fake electors. Yeah, like, why isn't that guy being investigated? Like, I'm telling you, like, that is the biggest story, or one of the biggest core, like, things here, out of that election, right? It's like, not only not only did we have a former president of the United States way back before the election even was underway, months before the election, priming the pump about how it's going to be rigged, about how it's going to be fake or whatever bullshit, and come to find out that it's the Republican Party in several states who conspired to attempt to overturn it. I still can't believe we have to thank Pence for saving democracy. It wasn't just Pence, who wouldn't and couldn't. Not only wouldn't he go, he had, like, I guess for a lucid moment, he had a moment of lucid thinking, of doing the right thing, and not only did he have that, but also he just couldn't. There's no mechanism for him to do so. The play was to shoehorn these fake electors. The play was several pronged, but one of the main ones, and we not only Pence, but the guy from the DOJ, who didn't go along with this. The guy from the DOJ who didn't go along with this, because the other prong of this attack was that they wanted to get somebody out that was high in the DOJ to say, listen, we got to put a pause to this so that we can validate or investigate, or just even though, like, it's obviously bullshit, but if it came from the DOJ, now things are a little bit more serious, or it seems like it. So it would give more credence. If an official from the DOJ said, we got to stop and find out what's going on with the election, it would be a completely different ballpark. Exactly. Top DOJ officials were threatened to quit if a letter was sent out. Right. That's what I'm talking about. And all of this didn't happen in a vacuum, okay? All of this didn't happen in a vacuum. It was the Republican Party doing this. It wasn't just Trump. You think Trump and a couple of his guys could do this? No. 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 So when I make the case, or when I make the statement that the Republican Party is just fundamentally incompatible with democracy, I'm very, very serious about that accusation. And I think I've backed it up pretty damn well. The whole Republican Party was backing Trump from top to bottom. It was the exception, not the rule, to go against him. It was the exception, not the rule, to go against him. A lot of these motherfuckers were absolutely backing Trump. How else could this have worked? How do you think that those fake electors came to be? It was the state parties too. It was the state the state level Republicans who made that happen. That didn't happen in a vacuum. I think that explains it better. The Republican governors refused to allow fake electors, alternate state of electors, to be accepted. The Republican Party that is present today is bad for democracy. The party was not always like this. True. Yes, that is a fair assessment. And those were the exception. Those were the exception. Because they really did try to shoehorn these fake electors, and it didn't just happen in a vacuum, okay? It was the exception. It was the handful of the right people in the right place at the right time that is the reason why we're not seeing the way things differently. There was just enough honest Republicans to stop Trump's deal. Right, that's what I'm saying. It was just it was a handful of them. It was the exception, not the rule. That's my point. You're making my point for me. If it was allowed, this could have turned out differently. But because of the handful of people that were in the right place, the right time, they had this lucid moment of morality. It didn't plan out. It didn't pan out exactly. The Democrats are not fighting. You got maybe 10 folks that are in the news battling on the Hill day in and day out. Oh, yeah, that's a whole other separate problem. We're talking about a whole other separate problem in and of itself. We're talking about a whole other problem there. The Republicans with real power and shape to shape the election stood firm. The fake elector plan was cooked up by Trump's legal advisors, not elected officials. No, but elected officials absolutely went with it. Elected officials absolutely went with it. See Ron Johnson, who had the list of these fake electors. So yeah, elected officials absolutely were on board. This is why I'm saying it's like a top to bottom kind of deal, where Republicans in local, Republicans in state, and in federal, at the federal level, were willing to back this up. It didn't get as far as it did, out of nowhere, out of just like, it wasn't just Trump's legal advisors, either. They might have cooked up like the plan in their heads, but it didn't get as far as it did by themselves. I hope that makes sense. Why are they just standing by? Does Trump have something on them, or do they not even care? If you ask me, probably they just don't care. They think that they can control the situation. They're so arrogant, and so out of touch that they think that this isn't as big of a problem. But it is. but it is. So they're just sitting aloof. They're just sitting aloof, asleep at the wheel. They want to win their next primary, the general election. Oh, you mean like the members of Congress? Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yep. Yeah, 100%. They're definitely thinking about that, but honestly, it's mostly just like they're just not encompassing the reality of the situation, because like, I mean, how could you not see the gravity of a party having this level of coordination to attempt to overturn an election? It's just wild to me that isn't like the bludgeon that is being used every single day until these people fuck off. Because if it was me, I would be using that bludgeon every single day. Every day. Every chance I got. Even majority Republican state legislators did not sign on to the fake elector plan. They all had base electors on popular vote, which is the law. I think all Republican governors told the fake electors plotters to buzz off. Well, if they're majority Republican, then they don't need fake electors, right? If conservatives become convinced that they cannot win democratically, they will not abandon conservatism. They will reject democracy. Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're watching. I mean, a prophet, and Billy Crystal of all people. I mean, prophetic. Prophetic, ironically. Oh, that states I went for Biden? In the midterms of 2022, Trump and his candidates were rejected. So you want like the cliff notes? Across the country. No, sorry. Across 7 states. Trump and his legal advisors or his legal team spoke to some 300 Republican state legislatures. And out of those, dozens of them petitioned Pence to delay the election certification. What I'm trying to make sure is that we don't lose sight of how encompassed or how coordinated it had to be. And the fact of the matter is the Republican Party is complicit. In this. Also, midterm, yes, Trump should have heard that reality. Oh, reality? Trump doesn't live in reality. Trump lives in alternative facts. If the left was smart, they would stay very far away from the protests in NYC tomorrow. 100%. 100%. Let the, the 100%. I'm actually very, how do I say, not nervous? What would be the word? Uneasy, maybe? Uneasy? Maybe? On the, on the edge kind of deal. About what's gonna happen tomorrow. Because these people are unstable, to say the least. These people are unstable. And the things that Trump has said to come out and on several occasions to protest, the fact that there has been like several, social media posts signaling that maybe they're ready for more, than that, it's just uneasy. It's just very, very uneasy, an uneasy feeling. Let them be their worst enemy. Don't give them fuel. They will escalate, and we will be blamed. Oh yeah, no, of course. The radical Antifa, the same Antifa that caused the January 6th insurrection, no doubt. But I'm saying that these people are unstable, and the dear leader is in real danger of going to jail. They blame the woke trains for derailing. Yeah. You're still blaming woke for the trains. Yeah. Woke doesn't mean anything. I can just immediately dismiss it. There are often a few eager counter-protesters. I think most leftists do not want to be in the center of a right-engineered poop pile. Yep. Doubt much will happen. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully nothing. It's better than sleeping trains? Really? Anyways. Yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't have legalized marijuana at this point. It's embarrassing. We're in the year of our Lord of 2023, bro. Legalize it already. All right. Back to domestic terrorists. And the second trial, which ended in January, all 4 defendants were found guilty of seditious conspiracy, bringing the total number of January 6 defendants found guilty at that charge to 6. 5 other members of the domestic terrorist group Proud Boys are currently on trial for seditious conspiracy as well. That trial is expected to go on for several more weeks. So I'm creating a conspiracy theory about other people adopting a conspiracy theory. Maybe far right will think. Maybe the far right will think that the expectation of an NYC protest is a deep state vacuum operation in the works and stay home. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh god. That would be probably the most ideal situation. I mean, really, that would be gold if that's the way they think. Oh my god. If they're like so conspiratorial that they think the mere fact that they're being told to protest is like, you know, Fed being like what is the lingo? Fed posting? And they think that there's gonna be, it was a setup or something, that would be hilarious, and they just end up staying home. Oh man. More than 2 years after the January 6th Fed jacketing, there you go. More than 2 years after the January 6th insurrection, the FBI has arrested about 1,000 people in connection with the breach, and new arrests continue to be made this month. A list of arrestees included Larry Giberson, a senior at Princeton University, who's accused of joining the violent mob inside the tunnel of the west side of the Capitol and urging other insurrectionists to drag police officers out. Yeah. The FBI, the new NBC News has reported the FBI has the names of hundreds of additional individuals who entered the Capitol on January 6th, as well as a list of more than 100 people who are currently listed on the FBI's Capitol violence page. There have been a few cases of rightist events that were denounced by rightists as something shady. Gotcha. Can you imagine if this is one of them? Oh, man. Honestly, that would be ideal. Is President Bush on the Capitol violence page for 2003? No. The White House violence page. There should be one with his picture. Newsmax has a 90-minute special. The effort to get Trump. The effort's all his. Trump is the one that got Trump, all right? Trump is the one that got Trump. You know, you spent a lifetime, an entire career of being a con man, and then like you're now surprised Pikachu face that you might be indicted for checks notes, conning. I mean, what did you expect? This is the result of a big con, essentially. You know, using funds in a way that you're not supposed to. I mean, what else is that if not a con? You know, I never thought I would say this, but I missed the dumbest thing in the GOP being Bush Jr. Jesus. Oh, man. Can Trump blame George Santos? He can try. He can try. Anyway, so to these like domestic terrorists, and like, listen, again, tomorrow, if you block, obstruct, or try to stop any like official police stuff, then this is just what's gonna happen.
How we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Did you guys see the Piers Morgan interview with George Santos? No. No. But I'm sure that was meme gold. I shouldn't have used my last $10 to buy lottery tickets and chips. Man. You know, I did not see Trump being indicted on my bingo card, alright? We'll see. In 2023, I did not have that on my bingo card. Like I said, I'm still not saying anything until I see the actual like situation play out. Let me guess, this guy teaches first grade math. I don't know, but it's funny. I sent you the link for your own viewing pleasure. Sweet. I'll take a look at this.
Hi, everyone.
All right, this is 9 minutes. We can do this. January 6th is the worst day of my life. It was so bad it made me realize all of my country's past coups look like children's games in comparison. I understand your pain, Americans, thoughts and prayers. I mean, it was more like an insurrection, but yeah. Not good. Not good.
I have to hand it to Piers Morgan. Last week, it was Carrie Lake, and this week,
Whoa.
it's...
Pac-Man's got a new background? What the hell? I guess Sam Cedar won his lawsuit. Well, congratulations to Sam Cedar. He won his lawsuit. Nice. Why serial liar George Santos chose to appear on Piers Morgan Uncensored is a mystery because he thinks that he won't get caught. The New York congressman sure squirmed as he tried to defend his claim that his mother had been to the World Trade Center and Morgan wouldn't back off. Pac-Man got lots of viewers. Nice. I'm sure.
George Anthony DeVolder Santos, who show up and they get absolutely brutalized by Piers Morgan.
Zeo
this is really fascinating stuff. George,
thank you for the tier 1 subscription for 24 months. You've officially crossed the 2-year line. Thank you so much for the support. Unbelievable. Thank you. Room dividers for the win. True. If Biden really wanted to trigger the right, he should show up in a tan suit. True. 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 That's really how you do it.
George Santos, the lying Republican congressman, to his credit, he showed up clearly having received some media training over the last few weeks. You can tell he's just a little more polished and a little bit more poised, but still horribly dishonest. He agreed to take questions from Piers Morgan. And
thank you, Alex Jones, for following. I appreciate that.
Absolutely fascinating to see this. In this first clip, George Santos defends his lie about being Jewish by saying it's a joke, he's Jew-ish, and that everybody in the past thought it was funny. And this is clearly a very sick individual.
I've always made this as a party favorite joke, and I've done it on stages.
What's funny about falsely claiming you're Jewish?
No, not falsely claiming I'm Jewish. I'd always say I was raised Catholic, but I come from a Jewish family, so that makes me Jew-ish.
But again,
it's always been a
Oh,
party
God.
favorite. Everybody's always
I mean, the Olympic levels of mental gymnastics necessary to even go through this process. This guy's like a professional liar. This guy's a professional liar. That's what he is. It just comes so like instant, like lying about things you don't even need to lie about. Why? Okay. Like corn on the cob, exactly. Welcome. Eat your leftist ass. Excellent meme.
laughed. And now
It's been a party favorite or favor. I don't even know what he's saying.
Did it rain on election day or something? Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody's pounding down for a pound of flesh.
Because you're not Jewish.
Well, I never said I was. I've always,
You immediately said you were.
and I would always say, but my grandparents are Jewish on my mother's side, so I'm Jew-ish. That was always a joke. Everybody used to laugh it up.
Guys,
Oh, so wait, now it's a joke? Now he was just saying it like facetiously? Oh, okay, I see. So first of all, he tried to claim that he was Jewish, but then when push comes to shove, he tried to say that he was Jew-ish because his mom was Jewish. I don't even know if that was is that true? I don't know if that guy is real right now. I don't even know if we're watching a real person. For all we know, it's just like a hologram. Okay? Just as going through the dialogue tree. Talk TV is apparently Newsmax Britain or something. So they provide both coddling and discipline. It's all fun and games collecting cards to play until someone catches you switching them out.
don't you know the joke? It's so funny.
I said it to a room with 1,000 people in November. People were hysterically laughing. It was funny to them. They loved it.
I don't think Jewish people find it funny.
Yeah, but there's another thing here also which is important to mention, which is it's different to, as an obvious joke in a room during a live event, to say, I consider myself Jew-ish and make it clear that it's a joke.
That's what they find it.
Versus the numerous statements.
Good point.
Where he said, Jewish lineage, my parents, grandparents, Holocaust, these are two dramatically different things.
We're Jewish. I was in a room with the Republican
Do you think
Jewish
Jewish
coalition.
people find it funny that a US congressman who's a Catholic with no apparent background of any Jewish heritage whatsoever, other than you say you have it, no one can find it? I think a lot of Jewish people would find that offensive.
I beg differ when we were at the RJC in November.
Well,
I've
no.
always made this-
It's obvious that Jewish people find it offensive, and it's become abundantly clear. He's like, no, nobody finds it offensive at all. Nice job there by Piers Morgan pointing out.
If I was an
absurdity
alien and I wanted to blend in, I'd pick a normal,
the other
yet slightly ethnic
fascinating
name
moment
called
from this
like
interview
George Santos.
was when George DeSantos. Oh boy, that
Freudian slip.
is quite a Freudian slip. George Santos.
I wanted to say that I did not watch this pre-hand.
George
before.
DeSantos. George Santos says the Republican Party basically made him fabricate his background in order to be taken more seriously or something like that.
Wall Street superstar. I was this, my family was this, and it was all untrue. So I don't categorize these as mistakes.
Is having
I think
parents that
part
went
of
through the
your
Holocaust
process of
a
the
bar for
cathartic
Jewishness
process of
anyways?
Redemption, if you like. It's got to start
I think
from,
it's like the
I've been a
problem
terrible-
is like you're lying about your lineage or whatever unnecessarily, and then making like these claims. I don't know. I think it is a little bit. I think it is offensive. And no, it's not a bar for Jewishness. I think I don't even know. I think it's like if you were born from your mother. I think is that how I don't know.
Terrible liar. I mean, would you
You're
be
gonna
prepared
have to.
say
You're gonna have
that?
to walk me
Sure.
through that one because I don't know.
Like I
Well, go
said,
on then.
well, I've been a terrible liar on those subjects, and what I tried to convey to the American people is I
Things that were untrue is what he tried to convey.
made mistakes of allowing the pressures of what I thought needed to be done in order to
You guys, did you see that? His mistake was he let his misunderstanding of pressure to say things that weren't true make him lie. Like this is like I apologize if people were offended.
This wasn't about tricking anybody. This wasn't about this. It's.
Yes, it was.
No. Let me
The
finish.
whole thing was about tricking people.
Let me finish. It wasn't about tricking the people. This was about getting accepted by the party.
Right. He had to lie because otherwise the Republican Party wouldn't accept him. Now, sadly, this is all sort of part of the George Santos rehabilitation tour. And it's becoming increasingly clear that if nothing changes, he's going to be able to stay in the House of Representatives. He'll probably serve one term and then be soundly removed. He is off of all of his committees. It will be a meaningless term, but it is increasingly looking like he's going to be able to stay. But don't worry, everybody, because he's decided he's not going to lie anymore. Now, here was an interesting revelation. He says, in terms of why did you think you could get away with it? He says, I ran in 2020 and told the same lies and no one noticed that they were lies then.
You never got a master's in business at New York University.
No, like I said, no.
Right. I mean, again, did you not think people would find this out?
You know, Pierce, not after I
You're not running to be like a reality TV star.
No.
Like, sir, Mr. Santos, Mr. Santos, sir, did you know, sir, did you know that the internet exists? Yes or no? Did you not expect that the internet existed? Or did you just forget?
I understand.
Right, you know, if you were going on Celebrity Apprentice, which I went on, right, it doesn't matter. You can embellish stuff about yourself. Nobody cares, right? But to run for Congress of the United States.
I don't even know, Redmond. I'm going to assume, until otherwise, until proven otherwise, I'm going to assume that, hey, if if that's what he said, I'm going to assume until we get contradicting information, just like we found out with the other lies. Who knows? I don't know if anything about this guy is real or not. I'm gonna be honest, Redmond. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Am I just jumping with joy at laughter inside the Trump will get arrested? Oh, we briefly talked about that, but yeah.
And to just tell blatant lies about even
That's coming up.
in your academic record, I'm just struck, not necessarily that a politician would lie, but that you would think no one would find out.
Well,
Briefly? Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the article. I may or may not have made comments. We may or may not have had a conversation, but I have not gone around to the article. My chief weapons is fear and surprise. And nice red uniforms.
I'll humor you this. I ran in 2020 for the same
Hey,
exact
ADT, how's it going,
seat,
A-Bun?
for Congress. And I got away with it then. And I guess...
Right. Well, that's honest.
Stupid.
So you thought, actually, they're not going to find out?
No, I didn't think so.
Well, I basically bought this roof over the...
It's like, so yeah, I lied and, I wasn't caught, so I guess I'm just gonna do it again. Wondering if protesters will show up to stop them from arresting Trump. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about because, like, that can devolve into a very sticky situation. Because what we're dealing with is a cult. And this is a very, very, very devoted cult. Who knows?
So he's like, I told the same lies 2 years ago and nobody noticed. And then asked about if he knew that there would be this firestorm, would he even have run for office? And he says, no, I would not.
How are you dealing with the complete loss of your anonymity? Now, what's it been like for you to be George Santos on the streets in America?
Well, it's uncomfortable. Think about it this way. Just last night...
He's the real victim, guys.
Hey, my husband
Good.
and I
It
went
should
out
be
to
uncomfortable.
movies, and as I'm walking from getting the...
He said he and his husband Redmond. He said he and his husband. So there you go.
Tickets to get to the concession stand, to get to the
Them
theater.
cops better break out the pepper spray and tactical gear.
Whispers all across the movie theater, so it's just very strange, you know.
Yeah.
Because part of
We'll see. We'll see how the police react.
you like it as much as part of you finds it uncomfortable.
I can't stand it, and a lot of people think I love it. I just can't stand it. It's something I'm going to have to learn how to deal with because, as you said earlier when we were talking before taping, once that genie's out of the bottle,
Right.
you can't put it back in. So you need to learn how to live with it, and just that's what I'm doing.
If you'd known what was
What a tough victim, huh?
going to happen to you in terms of the ferocity of the attention. You know, you've got 8 different official investigations into you. You know, people have called you the biggest liar in the world. You know all this stuff. If you'd known what was going to happen, would you have
If there was a fascist rally in downtown, does that mean a temporary shortage of police officers? Good question.
still wanted to run for office?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So there it is. He would not have run if that was the case, that he knew this was going to happen. So listen, the interview is pathetic. He's clearly been coached to some degree about how to answer some of these things. He's strategically, you know, saying, I was wrong about this, I was wrong about that, but still kind of saying, I was forced into all of it, and these were embellishments and all of this sort of thing. But he's going to be allowed to stay, it seems to me. I believe that he has weathered the height of the pressure. And I would love to keep pressuring him, and I will, but I don't think it makes a difference if it's me doing it. It seems as though the storm is passing, and he'll kind of be allowed to linger without really accomplishing anything until he's voted out in 2024.
To deal with the
would be my
protesters.
guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
One of our sponsors today.
Hey! Chill on your own time, Pac-Man. Be glad that you won this lawsuit. This brutal lawsuit. Against Samuel Cedar over the set. Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't even call them protesters. Because they're, what do you, like, that's not obstructing a legal procedure or whatever. It's not like, you're protesting like a unfair law or something like that. Like, if some dude gets caught, I don't know, doing whatever crime, would you call, like, a group of people trying to defend him protesters? Probably not. I want to see the NYPD Kettle and Corral a crowd of NRA members instead of a band of DSA baristas. Never. Cowards. They would never do that. Furthermore, they wouldn't kettle and corral a group of their own, too. Why would they do that? At that point, yeah, that's exactly my point, Mayhem Hippie. That is exactly my point. Yeah, I made a mention of this a couple times. Yes, absolutely. You're 100% correct. If you're out there and you are doing this, you are literally obstructing justice. This isn't like, this is a criminal investigation, and you have took it upon yourself to obstruct it. And it's obstruction of justice. I'm just saying. Yes, you're 100% correct. Protesters should be put in the comfy chair. Alright. This one's going to be brief. UN climate report shows the world is flying blind into a storm. The TLDR, global warming is getting bad and is bad and getting worse. I could have told you that. But a sprawling assessment of tens of thousands of scientific papers on the state of the planet released on Monday, today, pointed to another unsettling truth. Scientists still don't have answers to many of the questions that will define how well the world copes with the worst of climate change, i.e., we know it's fucked, we just don't know the details and how bad it's fucked. In its latest report, the IPCC describes a world of long-foreseen impacts arriving now with shocking power. Human suffering, especially among the poor, of course, will increase rapidly in the coming decades. The symbolic limit of 1.5 will almost certainly be breached. Yep, there's no I've been saying for a while now, I just don't see a path where we manage to avoid that. And the problem is that because we decided that we are going to continue to do business as usual, that might, trigger more domino effects that we, again, still don't fully understand. And it's bad. It's bad. It's not good. These tipping points and the ramifications of these tipping points are not exactly 100% understood, other than, hey, if we continue, it's just going to get worse. That's what we do know. All right, we've done a lot of damage, and if we continue down this path, we're going to continue to do damage, and it's going to continue to destabilize some obviously very sensitive systems around the planet that keep us alive, and that's not good. There's still an opportunity to avert the bleakest of scenarios with the shift towards clean energy moving faster than expected. But in many critical areas, the IPCC scientists say the world is flying blind into the storm. By the time they publish their next report at the end of this decade, there will be more clarity about where global temperatures will peak. But by the time, failing to act appropriately and failing to move in that direction, it's just going to keep producing these same results. Green policies that will have triggered social and economic transformation with major benefits and major upheaval. Sadly, none of that's happening. Not in any real full capacity. Here and there, we get a couple W's. Here and there, we manage to reduce emissions, but quite frankly, as a collective effort, we haven't really done what's necessary, to be quite frank. That means there's still far too many unknowns to say with certainty how and when the most devastating impacts will hit. Generally, science is still lagging policies, said Piers Forster, an IPCC author and director of the Priestley International Center for Climate at the University of Leeds. We need a living laboratory mentality to test ideas in the open and transparent ways to really learn about how to transform society. Otherwise, we'll be going with technologies according to who shouts the loudest rather than the best. Extreme weather events over the past few years that including 2022 heat waves that sent temperature records tumbling across much of Europe and floods that devastated Pakistan last year have surprised some of the world's top climate scientists with just how far they sat outside the normal range. Experts still know relatively little about when and where these type of extreme climate events will happen, or what happens when two events like a drought and a heat wave hit one place simultaneously. That's because scientists have tended to look at broader averages across regions rather than the most intense extremes in specific locations. We haven't asked the models to come up with an outrageously high temperature number like 50 degrees in Canada, a mark reached during a heat wave in 2021, and work out how likely that is or if that's possible, said Friedrich Otto, an author of the IPCC report and senior lecturer at the Imperial College London, and I think that's why these are surprises. As leaders took to contain the worst impacts of global warming, knowing where to concentrate efforts will be key. The IPCC classified between 3.3 billion to 3.6 billion people, almost half the world's total population, as being among the most vulnerable, with people in the developing world hit the hardest. Even as reports were released, Mozambique, Malawi, and Madagascar were locked in record-breaking and repeated assaults from Cyclone Freddy. The region is still recovering from Cyclone Idai and Kenneth in 2019. But in rich countries, the poor, the old, the sick, the young, the marginalized will be less equipped to face the challenges ahead. Identifying precisely who is at risk requires a blending of the physical sciences with social, political, and economic disciplines. That discussion is only in its infancy. Again, time is of the essence. Are you missing the big news that David Pakman is covering New York? He is. He's going to be on the ground. He's going to be live streaming on the ground. The IPCC. The problem with this is like this is a problem because time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. 100. I've experienced 119 degrees Fahrenheit heat index in 2021. Sheesh. No, he's watching the feeds, but they're announcing that Trump is going to be arrested. Yeah, they're going to do that tomorrow. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out because I don't know when this is happening, and most likely I will be at work. So I guess we're gonna have to talk about that tomorrow. That will definitely be content tomorrow. Oh man. The IPCC expressed medium confidence that an abrupt change in the Atlantic currents that could plunge Europe into an ice age would not happen before 2100. Heartening, perhaps, but regarding the most dangerous and sudden impact and potential impact of climate change, scientists' level of certainty is still disturbingly low. Pakman live streams almost everything. Trump, it's annoying because I generally like his content. I feel that. The field remains full of conjecture, but in paper last year, which was published too late to be included in the IPCC report, scientists identified 16 of these so-called tipping points, including the collapse of the Earth's major ice sheets, which could trigger massive sea level rise and loss of permafrost, leading to a sudden release of carbon dioxide, methane, further fueling global warming. What's clear is that there's a direct correlation between rising temperature and the likelihood of changes turning increasingly irreversible. For instance, the IPCC said with the rising global temperatures between 2 and 3 degrees, Greenland and West Antarctic would almost completely and irreversibly lose their ice sheets for millennia. Think about that. And like, it is quite conceivable that we will reach that 2 degrees Celsius. It's not out of the realm of possibility. In fact, it's becoming more and more likely the case. Yep. The sad mushroom. We need more floating cities. Oh, man. I'm not prepared to live in Waterworld. Kevin Costner freaks me out. Like the Makita emote. That's a new one. It was made by one of the chat. The stuff of science fiction veered into reality late last year when a US startup called Make Sunsets launched a balloon that may have released reflective sulfur particles into the sky above Mexico. The solar radiation management, as it's called, is just one of a handful of mooted planet cooling hacks, but none of them come without downsides. Nor do we know if they will even work. The fear is that rogue actors will take matters into their own hands. Yeah, like this whole geoengineering stuff, like, I don't know about that. In trying to solve this problem, you may create much worse ones. Sulfur rain. Ah, you like it? At this point, the best thing you can do is start stocking basics in food. Prices will not go down as this progresses into disaster. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you have that ability, I mean, think about it. As climate change gets worse, as the climate crisis gets worse, droughts and floods will make it much harder to grow food in the places that we're normally used to growing food. The way we're doing agriculture is completely unsustainable. I mean, the whole system, the way we have things right now, is unsustainable. And we're furthering we're furthering the degradation of the land, making it worse, making it harder. Food yields will lower, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's harder to grow current food. Right, that's what I'm saying. The system right now. Hey, Becky, how's it going? All right, depressing stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It is. If you want to steal this article and use it, there it is. There's not enough science and there's zero governance, said Pascal Lamy, the former World Trade Organization chief who chairs the Climate Overshoot Commission. The IPCC's finding that there is almost no chance to avoid breaching the 1.5 limit has spurred more interest in the field, once shunned as the defeatist or worse. The White House has called for researchers to contribute to a new climate intervention research plan. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, we just have to come to grips. And I've seen this language more and more with the, scientific articles. I'm not talking about 1.5 anymore. We're talking about, like, maybe 2. Nothing new, though. I'll cover it in my recap next week. Nice! "4chan user arrested for posting in Minecraft death threat." I mean, yeah. If it's credible, it doesn't matter how you want to, how you want to hide it. You can't say I want to do like X illegal stuff in Minecraft and then be serious enough about it. Police will show up at your door. Just because you there we go. Just because you present a hypothetical scenario in a video game does not mean you won't be held accountable. This 38-year-old 4chan user found out the hard way after posting a death threat targeting a Florida sheriff, but used the words in Minecraft at the end. He was later arrested and being extradited to face felony charges. And of course, the sheriff's crime was to call out fucking neo-Nazis, and this guy immediately threatened him. Richard Golden posted this message to kill Mike Chitwood on 4chan's poll board. Of course, sheriff has been targeted by far-right groups since he called out the neo-Nazis after a group distributed anti-Semitic flyers to residents in Daytona. Again, in the year 2023, fucking Nazis. And hung up banners on pedestrian bridges during the Daytona 500, sporting statements such as, quote-unquote, Hitler was right. Get fucked. These scumbags came to the wrong county. We're not going to tolerate this, said Chitwood. This is not about free speech. It's about violence. Nice. Based. Based. Is this finally a story about a good cop? Unicorn story of the year. Yeah, I mean, like, damn, dude. This is good, obviously. But I mean, Nazis are bad. Yes. Nazis are bad and they can get fucked. Should be like the default. Should be like the default. Following the conference, Golden posted a message on 4chan in a thread titled "The Sheriff Declares War on Whites." Yes. Yeah, true. When we say Nazis get fucked, it is indeed it's a war. It's a war against the whites. Jesus Christ. Just insert crime here. But insert crime here. Yeah. But adding equivalent of quote-unquote jokes, lol, it's Schrodinger's asshole, right? But at the end of a death threat won't placate law enforcement. Central Florida Intelligence Exchange alerted Chitwood to the message, and detectives tracked Golden down to a New Jersey address on March 1. Once he's extradited, he'll be housed at the happiest place on earth, the Volusia County Branch Jail. Get fucked. You can see the video of officers arresting Golden at his mother's house. Yeah, this makes sense. Since his arrest, he was described as a marginalized member of society who spent too much time in his extremist chat rooms. Yep. His bail is at $100,000. He's being charged with making threats to kill or injure, which carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison, and a $10,000 fine. Yep, get fucked. I invite you all to join me in the philosophy of nothing any human can or will do at any time should ever shock you. It's peaceful philosophy. True. Is the bar for a good cop that Nazis are bad? Yep. I mean, it's rare because police force. I'm just saying. Getting Minecrafted might take on a new definition after this. Womp womp. Anyways. Hey. Alright. That was a good meme. It remains deeply controversial. The science is divided on this. We have a few scientists with a very high reputation who say, let's look at this seriously. Another small part of science that says, no, this is Dr. Strangelove and so on, said Lamy. But what's for sure is that if we succeed in proper governance framework, it will have to be linked to proper science. Yes. In this scenario, yes. The IPCC membership includes many governments that are not thrilled to hear prescriptive views on how to structure their economies. So as the world moves increasingly into questions of transformative change, some scientists and policymakers are questioning whether institutions is fit to deliver the answers needed. Excellent thought process, because yeah, science can come up with the proper solution. Let's say it did hypothetically come up with the perfect solution. We would then have to contend with the political will of whether or not it's going to get deployed. You know? Hey, Arberlin, how's it going? Welcome. The IPCC is a little bit like the Catholic Church, a very conservative institution with seemingly immutable rituals, and with staying power and carried by an important mission, said German economist and chair of the European Scientific Advisory Board on Climate Change, Ottmar Edenfer, told Die Zeit? I don't know, whatever, I'm assuming that's a newspaper. Yeah, the AI overlord will figure it out, true. The supercomputer, the AI overlord supercomputer will figure it out, yep. What we don't know is what kind of governance, what political instruments have to be put in place now. I doubt that the IPCC with its intergovernmental structure will be able to help us here. I mean, I can say that if we don't take action, it's going to be bad. So I don't know what the alternative is. Do nothing? All right. Yep. The main story that I know that we've been kind of teasing and talking about, the Catholic Church, well, true. What if the AI is a communist, then you need to immediately delete the AI. We will tell it to eliminate carbon output, and the reason that most carbon output is a result of human existence. Yeah, and then, you know. Hey, how long have you been streaming on Twitch? That's a good question. I think 4 years on Twitch itself. Shoot. I want to say maybe. I've been around. I've been around and I'm everywhere and anywhere. Trust me. If you think I'm not there, I'm probably there. Officials are preparing security in case of a Trump indictment. Yep. It seems like if it does happen, it's the closest this guy's ever going to see to any type of accountability. Law enforcement and officials in New York have been making security preparations for the possibility of former President Trump that former President Trump could be indicted in the coming weeks. In the coming weeks, bro. Oh wait, they might make an announcement tomorrow. I don't know if that means he's gonna get indicted tomorrow. Oh, whatever. And appear in Manhattan courtroom in an investigation examining the hush money paid to women who alleged sexual encounters with him, 4 law enforcement officials said on Friday. There has been no public announcement of any time frame for the grand jury's secret work, including any potential vote on whether to indict the ex-president. It looks pretty likely the Secret Service has gotten involved. Yes, that's true. The law enforcement officials who are not authorized to speak publicly and spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity said authorities are just preparing in case of an indictment. So if that wasn't even like a thing that could happen, why are you making all these like extras? It doesn't make sense. It's obvious. Yeah, let's make Trump sweat for as long as possible. Yep. Law enforcement officials, blah, blah, blah. They described the conversations as preliminary and considering security, planning, and practicalities of a potential court appearance by a former president. Trump's lawyer, Joseph Tacopina, told the AP that if Trump is indicted, we will follow the normal procedures. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office had no comment, and a message was left for court administrators. The grand jury has been hearing from witnesses, including former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen, who says he orchestrated payments in 2016 to 2 women to silence him about sexual encounters they said they had with Trump a decade earlier. I mean, like, I think, Michael Cohen probably had the biggest I guess responsibility here, because he's the one, and he testified to this, I think even to Congress. He's the one that had intimate knowledge about this interaction here. So I think he was very key. And I think that most likely he was like, he's going to be, if there is such a, you know, if there is going to be a trial, and if there's going to be any accountability, this guy is going to be the star witness, because he had the intimate knowledge. This is like getting Capone for taxes. Yeah, exactly. You have to ask the Secret Service if it was okay to handcuff him. They are DMing up a storm. Well, we'll see. Trump denies the encounters occurred and says nothing wrong and says he did nothing wrong and has cast this investigation as a quote-unquote witch hunt by Democratic prosecutors bent on sabotaging the Republicans' 2024 presidential campaign. You can say that all he wants, it's just not true. Democrats have investigated and attacked President Trump before he was elected, and they failed every time, said campaign spokesperson Stephen Cheung in a statement Thursday about the inquiry. He's a witch! Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office has apparently been examining whether any state laws were broken in connection with the payments or the way Trump's company compensated Cohen for his work to keep the women's allegations quiet. Same. Spread it forward. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. These people are unstable and unhinged. I'm worried about his cult, but we'll see. Daniels and at least two former Trump aides, one-time political advisor Kellyanne Conway and former spokesperson Hope Hicks are among witnesses who have met with prosecutors in recent weeks. Cohen has said that at Trump's direction he arranged payments totaling $280,000 to porn actors Stormy Daniels and Playbook model Karen McDougal. According to Cohen, the payouts were to buy their science about Trump, who was then in the thick of his first presidential campaign. Cohen and federal prosecutors said the company paid him $420,000 to reimburse him for the $130,000 payment to Daniels and cover bonuses and other supposed expenses. The company classified those payments internally as quote-unquote legal expenses. The $150,000 payment to McDougal was made by then publisher of the supermarket tabloid National Enquirer, which kept their story from coming to light. Federal prosecutors agreed not to prosecute the Enquirer's corporate parent in exchange for its cooperation in the campaign finance investigation that led to charges against Cohen in 2018. 420, huh? I see. In 2018, prosecutors said the payments to Daniels and McDougal amounted to impermissible, unrecorded gifts to Trump's election effort. Uh-oh. Cohen pleaded guilty and served prison time and was disbarred. Federal prosecutors never charged Trump with any crime. So it's happening, folks. Have you heard the reps in Congress that are going to subpoena NY officials to testify why they are arresting Trump? Yeah, I mean, they're welcome to do that. The reason why, and they're probably going to say the same thing, is because he did some shady shit, which should be a surprise to absolutely nobody. That a shady con man who has done this his entire career would be doing takes notes, shady con stuff. I mean, is this surprising? Probably not, or shouldn't be. So yeah, okay, whatever. You can drag these people into Congress and they'll say, well, he committed crimes. There's a grand jury reviewed the evidence and recommended indictment. It didn't happen in a vacuum. Personally, I'm sick and tired of all these woke DAs and prosecutors and lawyers. They're all worse than the woke banks. True. I'm more surprised that a rich person in political class will go to jail. I mean, it's taxes, or if you do some improper finance stuff and you get caught, yeah, that's basically the way. And even then, this doesn't guarantee that he will be in jail. It's just right now we're at it is possible that Trump might get indicted. That's about as much as we have. Right, charges, exactly. That's about as much as we have on paper right now. Tomorrow, supposedly, again, this is just like coming from Trump himself. So I don't know like how much we can even trust it. But okay, Trump himself said he's expecting to be indicted tomorrow. Well, we will see. So I'll leave you with this.
Oh my God!
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what
I'll
it takes
expect
to
Team
get there.
McBail.
So
it depends. If he's a flight risk, it might not even matter because he's so wealthy. I doubt he's a flight risk. Oh, I think he would be. I don't know. Yo, it's been a what? If we get to hear a bunch of gruesome testimony from Stormy, it could embarrass the cult. Maybe that's what it'll take to break the cult. Oh man. Who knows? I mean, let's be honest, SB Harkin. It is unlikely that these people will even be watching the trial. They'll think it's a sham. They'll think it's a sham against the dear leader. It's a setup. They might not even watch any of it. He's not a flight risk. I mean, not realistically. He's running for president or thinks he is. Yeah, but at the drop of a hat, I think he would peace out before facing the music. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. But I don't know. I think he's, in my opinion, more likely to peace out before facing the music if he had the opportunity. But that's just me. Maybe his ego will keep him here. Who knows? Either way. So I think like we'll leave with this.
So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out
biggest
at a level of 7.
Biggest
okay?
witch
So I
hunt.
find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out.
Yeah. That's kind of like the theme of today. That's kind of like the theme of today. We don't have enough time to cover this, but this is an interesting opinion article that Alio posted on Twitter. If you want to check it out, I'm gonna put a link to that. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Oi, sorry, wrong link. There you go. If you want to check that out. All right, folks, we did it. Folks, unfortunately, I do have to get going. Thank you guys so much for joining here today. Thank you so much for all the new follows. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the subscriptions. It really does help us out. Thank you, Zeoduke. Thank you, Maple Leaf Dragon. Thank you, Alio, for the biddies. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for hanging in the chat. Thank you, Spread It Forward. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the offline follows. Whiskey Raccoon, Friedkey, and Goldfish. Goldfish left. Thank you for the offline follows in the weekend. I appreciate that. You guys are what makes this grow. So thank you so much. If you guys enjoy the content and you guys want to help out the channel, but you can't monetarily, just hit the follow button. You get 6 free emotes. And if you want to go even further beyond, go to the YouTube channel, hit the big red subscribe button. Really does help us out. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. So spread the word, all right? And bring a friend. I'll come back. Thank you. And bring somebody else with you. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Alvion, I hope to see you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Stay safe, everybody. See ya. Yeah, if you hit the follow button. Ah. All right, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.